Hello everyone, welcome to the EsaalaBros, an RCB fan podcast. And I'm sure the mood right now is not very good as an RCB fan. 5 games played so far, won only one game. And because Delhi Capitals are so bad, you really can't go below them. But eighth is where you are on the positions table. It could have been on par with CSK if you had won. But yeah, what's the mood right now? Very quick reaction.
Well, I think like we discussed, the red and blue jerseys are not doing great this year. Punjab is looking a little bit made a recent win, but the red and blue is not working.
Right. The red and black actually took you to 3 playoff titles, right? Or rather, 3 playoff situations. So that's also the reason why you have the Ellis Perry red and black jersey behind you.
Yes, let's go back to it next year. Maybe halfway through the season, who knows?
But RCB's management, I think, has a lot of merchandise that's still there. It needs to be sold. Cricket reasons can go damned. They have a lifestyle business to run. So to hell with you and your red and blue combos. I'm coming to Pawan.
Yeah.
Pawan, what's the mood right now? You're the first time you're joining us on the show. Welcome to the show, Pawan.
Thank you, Kaushik and Karthik, and thank you, Sagar. Yeah, the mood is it's been going bad every week now.
Yeah, 3 weeks into the IPL, and we've seen the normal life cycle of an RCB fan, which fluctuates with that first victory, and then it slowly starts going down. Some point there is victory that's coming in between, and then the calculators are out. But let's hope there is some kind of relief for an RCB fan. But let's get inside the show. At the 10-over mark when RCB were batting, what was your thought at that point of time? RCB were close to 80 odd runs without a loss of any wicket. Definitely an improvement over the last time where you were chasing at Chinnaswamy and you guys got all out for 153. So what was the mood going into the 10th over?
I mean, it depends. This was a different venue, and this venue has been high scoring as well as is Chinnaswamy. And here, I think we had to utilize the power play better. We had around 50 after 6 overs, where we had 42 after 4. So the last 2 overs, we got only 11 runs, I believe, in the power play. So that pulled us back a bit. Ashwin and Chahal put the screw. So I think that could have been acceleration could have been better in those few overs.
Right. But when you say acceleration could have been better, RCB usually starts well, even against CSK in the opening match. I think they were 4 overs, 3 overs, 33. Even in the last game, 4 overs, 36. And then I was actually kind of getting nervous that this is exactly where RCB's wheels come off. Fifth or sixth over in the power play, they lose and they didn't lose wickets. So that way, I felt okay. Because I remember on the show last time, I was telling Sagar that RCB should actually look to have Kohli bat 55 to 60 balls, nothing more. I know today he batted a little more than that, 72 balls. So that's 60% of the team's total. But you can't stop that. It just depends on how the balls are being distributed. But the question being, at the end of the 10th over mark, did you feel that RCB are setting themselves for a subpar total? And the question is to you, Sagar. Did you feel they were setting themselves up for a subpar total, or did you feel that that day when Maxwell, Green are going to come good, that is the day today? Did you get that feeling?
Honestly speaking, I wasn't getting that feeling that because they're not looking, they haven't looked themselves like what we have seen Maxwell play in the last season, and Green, what he played in that when he played for Mumbai that inning, and what we have seen him play in Australia. They haven't shown that spark yet. So up to that, I think when you saw the 10 or 12 overs, they were about, I would say, when it was 12 overs, if I'm remembering, it's 105 for no loss. At that point, you have 10 wickets in hand. Even if you lose 1 wicket per over, it would have been all right, right? Like the intent was sort of missing. They came. This is the part which is sort of difficult to understand, that they set themselves for a target, right? And nowadays people are playing without setting themselves for target. You just go hard at it, and that was missing.
Right. And I'm getting this feeling, and you guys can comment. RCB and CSK. CSK lost yesterday. RCB lost today. Are they having a very, very dated batting template? because RCB is not able to chase 180 at home. RCB is not able to set totals, when they're batting first. And same with CSK. I mean, they're just, both these sides are so dependent on the fanfare around their one main player that they are losing track of who they are as a T20 side. And here you're having sides like SRH and KKR come and challenge 263. So do you think RCB is having a very outdated template, Pawan?
Yes, I do feel that. You bring up SRH and KKR. I think the main difference between those two teams and the teams we are discussing is the opening pair, how they utilize the power play. Like you have Sunil Narayan throwing the kitchen sink at everything, and then there's Abhishek Sharma for SRH who did the same last evening. So in our case, Kohli and Faf are expected to play long innings, and like you said, you got that vibe in the fifth, sixth over. What if the wicket falls now? So that is holding RCB back. So I believe it will be better if Kohli drops to number 3, and we have a swashbuckling opener who doesn't mind getting out, and it doesn't hurt the team's chances. But he has to get 30 of 15 balls. I think that kind of opener we are missing in the power plays.
Right. And actually, when Kohli scored that 100 today, I was having this conversation with my father saying that I'm scared that Virat Kohli will be there in the squad for the T20 World Cup. Because in the T20 World Cup for India, nothing against Virat Kohli, but I don't think Virat Kohli can basically open the innings in the US because you have Jaiswal, you have Rohit Sharma. Now, if Virat Kohli is going to bat at 3, I don't think he's going to be as prolific because he doesn't have the first 6 overs cushion. And if he's going to come in the middle overs, Virat Kohli is a completely different player coming in at number 3. So I think the whatever goodness you can extract out of Virat Kohli in a T20 game is probably only as an opener, but you'll have to put a time cap at it, saying, "Hey Virat, if the time you near your 40th or 45th ball, just go bonkers or get out. It's okay. We've had you for 40, 45 balls. You've scored 70 runs, 60 runs. We'll take it." But I think that's where probably, do you think RCB should, it's not about Virat, but should RCB basically tell their top order batters that if you're, in the 14th, 15th over and you played 40 balls, stop valuing your wicket. Is that something that they should say?
The answer to that is when, the culture around IPL, around our stars, they are treated like godlike stars, godlike figures. I think we're 5 years or 10 years away from where you start seeing it doesn't matter whether you're Tendulkar or Virat Kohli, you can still get retired out or retired to replace that. So I do not see that happening with RCB. There will be a huge furor around the fan base. It feels very bad to say that I'm looking for Virat to retire. I'm a huge fan of Virat, but in T20s, I have the same thought process as you guys. There is something missing beyond a certain point.
Right. And I think that's where also fair. See, the thing is, Virat Kohli has everything going in his favor. He scored 100. Everybody said nobody else is scoring. At least he's scoring. That's the argument. But my sense is if a guy is playing 60% of your balls and he's having that kind of a strike rate, 113 of 72, the only thing is either it doesn't give the others enough time for them to, flower. But, you guys are going through a very bad patch with Maxwell and Green not scoring, enough runs. They were bought for their sixes, but I think Siraj has more sixes than Maxwell and Green combined so far. So unfortunately, we are that and Maxwell is your best bowler, technically in terms of wickets, I think, because I think it was.
He never bowled. And he didn't bowl today.
He didn't bowl. And that's what Michael Clark was asking in the post-match thing, saying, why are you guys not bowling Glenn Maxwell? Which I thought was a very parochial Australian comment, caring for one of their own. But Maxwell bowling is not the answer to the larger woes that are there in the system. But very interesting views that were coming on the internet. But I think the biggest part, of course, is around Virat Kohli. I still think he's a great player, great value at. He is RCB's brand value. But I think somebody needs to go tell Virat Kohli that, 14th, 15th over, if you're batting 40, 45 balls, just go for it. Otherwise, I think I'm pretty happy with the way Virat's form is holding up. But unfortunately, as Virat bats, a little longer than that, that's when the lack of intent sometimes comes through. And it's not about him. He's not suited to take that game, especially on wickets that are slow. Yes, a lot of people will point and ask questions saying, Kisne mara tha runs jab Melbourne mein you were in a situation 48 of 18 balls, people will say Virat Kohli. But I don't clearly think that in the IPL, flat wickets with an impact sub, you guys can depend on a 180 total. Anyway, that's just some thoughts. Question to you, Sagar. You had told Cameron Green, the reason RCB have gone for Cameron Green is because RCB believes that they will outbat their opponents. Okay, you can't outbat opponents scoring 180, and it makes your bowling look really weak. And the way Cameron Green was bowling last game, bowling full tosses to Nicholas Puran, do you think it's time to change Cameron Green for somebody else?
Yeah, I heard this comment on social media and I found it very funny. Small kid, he was probably 8 years old. He said, when Cameron Green bowls, he bowls like a batter, and when he bats like a bowler. But I don't want to go to the route of where RCB would play big stars like him, big hitters capability after 2-3 matches, and they never seem to play them again ever, and then they're out of the out of the franchise. I would prefer to stick with him. If you want Jackson, bring Jack for somebody else. You should be brave enough to bring Jack for Maxwell, because you can bring Maxwell back after 1 or 2 matches. Throw some fear into Max that his position can also get questioned. But I don't want these young players to be dropped, and these guys will be completely out of the franchise. They'll never come back, go to some other place and hit hundreds.
I was actually wanting Rajasthan Royals to have Yuzvendra Chahal come at 5 and then score the winning runs, just for him to feel good that, my former franchise has scored some runs. But yes, the next question to Pawan. And Pawan, do you think Will Jacks, the time has come for Will Jacks to be tried? And who?
Absolutely. Yeah, ideally, I would have him open, but since I think RCB is too rigid with their plans of Faf and Kohli opening, I can only see him replace Maxwell maybe, because RCB and Andy Flower likes fast bowling all-rounders. Historically, they've had them in all of their squads. So I don't think Cameron Green will get the axe anytime soon. So the only way they can get Will Jacks in is in place of Maxwell. But if he's going to bat at number 4 or 5 after Saurav and after Patidar, then I don't think it makes any difference what position he plays after that. If you're getting Will Jacks in, he has to be batting in the power play.
Well, number one, you guys gave 180 in the previous game against KKR, 180 or 190 against KKR, and it was given in 16-17 overs. Your best bowler on display was Vaishak Vijaykumar. 4 overs, 23 runs, 3 wickets. He never gets a game after that. In the 2 games that you guys have won, Mahipal Lomror has finished the games. Sorry, the 1 game that you won and the other game that you were about to win, but you didn't. I think I just went ahead. I dreamt that RCB had won 2 games. But yeah, the 2 games that I had watched, I remember clearly seeing Mahipal Lomror striking the ball very well. Mahipal Lomror is also not there. What is it with these selections, and why was Siraj bowled in the 9th, 10th over? Siraj's whole strength, I thought, was a power play bowler. And you guys have gone for Yash Dayal and Topley. I'm sure it did get you a wicket early on. But do you think it's lessening Siraj's strength if he's going to come in as a middle overs bowler?
Going backwards, so I thought Topley and Dayal starting was fine. Siraj has gone for runs this season. They've played him in the start, not worked out, and the ball coming onto the bat, I think they didn't want that. I'm fine with them starting with Topley and Dayal. Going to the second question, Lomror, and why would you ever play Lomror for Saurav? Why would you play Saurav for Lomror when you have a left-hand hard hitter who has done well? Are they overthinking this and trying to bring in impetus for batting when you already have a Lomror there, you have a DK there? So that's a little bit seems I'm not understanding that selection. Vaishak, same way. However, there is if you're bringing in Vaishak, where would you bring in is my other question. Will you bring in for Himanshu today, because Himanshu is a spinner, so they played him? The only way I could see Vaishak coming in, unless Pawan has any thought, is like trying to bring him for Reece Topley itself, because Vaishak had only come in as an impact, and today's impact was a spinner because of the obvious reasons. So Vaishak for Topley is something that I have contemplated whether they should do that, but definitely there are so many questions, and that's the concerning thing for RCB, right? Except Virat's batting, and that also has questions by some of us. Some of us are also questioning Virat's batting on the back end 6 or 7 overs. So I'm not sure where the season is going to. As a fan, it's a little scary at this point.
Especially if since we're talking of the spinners, they gave 64 in 8 overs, and our two spinners, Himanshu and Mayank, gave 63 in 4 overs.
Right.
So that's
Right.
where the game was won and lost.
But nevertheless, I'll try and see before our next game, which which is the next big game for RCB. We will definitely try and have some numbers on matchups to say, okay, who from I think RCB, who is RCB's next game against?
Battle of the losers.
RCB versus MI.
MI.
All right. So MI is coming over to Chinnaswamy, or RCB is going to Wankhede?
Flying to Wankhede.
RCB is flying to Wankhede. Okay, fine. So, but I actually thought that your next big match in next big match in the IPL is actually the 2025 auctions. But you guys are still thinking that it's the RCB versus MI game. Pick like a man of the match. We're introducing a new section called meme of the match. I'm going to read out 3 memes, okay? And you're going to say which one looked better. So the first meme reads, Maxwell needs to be thrown out of the team ASAP. You can't bat like that if you're a professional cricketer. Rubbish shots. That is one. Basically fan reactions. Another fan from Dharamshala, who's an RCB fan, he tweets saying it feels better to turn off the TV. Learning when to cut your losses is a sign of maturity and experience. The third one is, of course, a Cricinfo article, which I thought was funny because just when this article got published just when RCB lost the game, the winning runs were hit. Kohli says, Kohli, I know I can step up at any point because I'm hitting the ball well. I can step up at any point, and I think any fan who's seen that, right, is going to go bonkers saying, boss, you're not able to accelerate. So I found that, seriously funny types, but that's one meme that came. And I think finally there was a meme that was reacting to that particular Kohli thing, which said Kohli assessed the pitch. So somebody said that he must have assessed the practice wicket by mistake to say that, okay, this wicket is. So if you have to rate 1 out of the 4, which of these memes caught your interest?
That fourth one was good.
Fourth one was good. Okay, what about you, Sagar?
Switching off the TV because I felt like that all day today in this when Nara was batting.
Right, very interesting. So there are 2 people who actually said this on social. The fourth one, which was about reassessing the practice mistake, was said by an ardent member of the North Stand gang from Wankhede called Farzan. And the other message was sent by Rahul Mansoor, a member of the 12th Man Army, and he had put this in a chat. I'm part of both these groups, so I try to feature some interesting comments or memes that have floated on the internet. But yes, that's where we are. Please do join us for the battle of the losers, as Sagar says it. That shows right now where the mood is, and I'm hoping that, of course, RCB is able to regroup and then come back for the next game, and hopefully we have a better contest. But that's me signing off along with our 2 EsaalaBros, which is Pawan and Sagar. See you till next time to the RCB MI pre-match show.
RCB, RCB, RCB.